Dire team ban.
Hello everyone and welcome to the finals for Defense of the Australians, sponsored by Aura Partners. I'm Xalorith and tonight I'm joined by Dota Yoshi. How are you, Dota Yoshi?
I am fantastic. I'm glad that we can finally get underway.
Radiant team ban.
Yes, apologies for everyone watching. We did have a few technical issues at the venue, but looks like we're all good now. For our first semi-final game, we've got Super Happy Fun Team up against Quality Obsession.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll start off right away with these drafts. We see the Bat Rider get banned down immediately by Quality Obsession. Nothing too surprising there, quite a standard ban.
Definitely. And usually we see a follow-up ban of a lifesteal coming out. We get an odd ban of a Darkseer. Well, I shouldn't say an odd ban of a Darkseer. Darkseer is such a strong laner in that off lane. And if you can, there we go. We see him banned out right there. And sometimes I've seen a really unique strategy recently. I saw a Darkseer lane in a tri-lane. It worked quite well. They controlled the lane and they got a tower within 1.5 minutes. But yeah, that Darkseer, glad to see him taken out. Opens up the hero pool just a little bit more.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
You know, we had some interesting play from both teams in the first round. We see that Queen of Pain ban, Quality Obsession, watching Super Happy Fun Team's last game. Jezebel, who played the Queen of Pain last time for Super Happy Fun Team, did amazingly well. Quality Obsession being very smart to ban out the Queen of Pain there. But yeah, both teams played sort of unusual styles. Both teams played a 2-1-2 laning style. We saw some Spirit Breaker play. We saw some unusual Venomancer play. So we'll see if some of that stuff happens during this game as well.
And if I recall correctly, Quality Obsession likes to rotate their heroes around to try and get their positioning and try and win these lanes. I believe their last game, they had a hero rotate from the top lane into the mid lane. They won the mid lane and then he effectively rotated back down to the bottom lane. So he's played in all 3 lanes. And they put on a lot of aggression. We'll see what their lineups eventually come up with. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a very early to mid-game ganking orientated lineup.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, quite curious to see if the teams this time play a little bit more standard, or if they once again go for some of those unusual choices, both in the laning but also in the drafting phases. We see that Treant Protector, who has sort of risen and fallen a bit in the past month or two. He was on quite a high, and with the recent nerf, he's sort of dropped down a little bit. He still does get picked up, and he's quite a strong hero.
And it's very great to be able to support your heroes throughout the entire game. I mean, you have your carry, he can solo lane by himself with that living armor constantly applied on him. He doesn't need to get any regen, so if he gets harassed out, he'll just get straight back up to health. He can sit in that lane and even dive towers. And there we see a Dragonite. Very nice pickup. He's got a very high base armor throughout the game once he starts leveling up his passive. And the burst damage he can pull out with the ability to be able to, with the splash damage and the dot, it's very strong in that mid game.
Definitely, and Lifesteal pretty much immediately picked up by Super Happy Fun Team. Now, I know these guys have played Lifesteal and Spirit Breaker before, and I love doing those Nakes Bomb plays, so we'll see if we'll have some of that shenanigans this game. Super Happy Fun Team haven't picked up that Spirit Breaker quite just yet. We still have that Io, who's quite common as well on the field. Instead they're going to pick up the Tidehunter.
I love Tidehunters. My favorite hero in the game. He looks tremendously adorable, and he brings so much to the team. He has his Anchor Smash. It reduces a lot of physical damage being brought out by the opposition team, and that Ravage can instantly turn around a fight into your favor.
Yoshi, apparently your Dota TV sound is not on.
Ooh, that's strange. My open mic is turned on, however. I'll just move the mic threshold down. Should hopefully be able to pick me up now.
Awesome. But we see that Gyrocopter followed up there for Quality Obsessions. Another strong carry hero. I'm quite curious. I suspect that the Dragonite here will be played in mid lane. It's where you standardly see him, and Gyrocopter will be played with a safe lane, a tri lane having 2 supports, of course, just babysit him, ensuring he gets that easy farm.
And I wouldn't be too
we see that Iron
surprised.
Ban as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a Shadow Demon being picked up in combination with that Gyrocopter and then maybe a Lina follow-up, because with that Gyrocopter, if you get a Flat Cannon off, I should say Rocket Barrage off next to a Disrupted and, what's that word called? Not Shadow Poison, I'm trying to think of it. Soul Catcher, that's the word. If you get a Rocket Barrage off next to a Soul Catcher, they are almost instantly and guaranteed death on that hero, and that could be a very early first blood pickup for Quality Obsession if they do wish to go down that Shadow Demon and Lina route.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely. We see that Warlock get banned out as well. So it looks like Super Happy Fun Team, they want that. They don't want that that ultimate, and of course that Fatal Bonds can deal so much damage, particularly when you have also a Gyrocopter on the field. Getting a Fatal Bonds up on several key heroes, followed up with that Flat Cannon, that ultimate, and some potential other AoE can cause quite a lot of issues. And we do see that Spirit Breaker. Super Happy Fun Team did play the Spirit Breaker last time in round 1, so a very smart choice to ban him out here by Quality Obsession.
And Spirit Breaker, he's a really nice hero because he has that bash that goes through magic immunity, so he can hold that life steal in place. But that still leaves a Bane on the field if they do wish to pick that up to go direct counter to that life steal, which you see quite often. And we see that Slark being banned out. I don't really think Quality Obsession would have been going for a Slark. They have their two carries sorted out. You could run that Slark in that mid lane and have your Dragonite and Gyrocopter farm in those other two lanes, but it would have been very slim chance for them to run that way.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll see exactly what Super Happy Fun Team pick up here. You know, Jezza B is quite strong in that mid lane, and I suspect they'll pick up something that can ensure they can roam around with for him. So I'm not sure if they'll pick up a mid lane hero at this point, or if they'll save him more as like a fifth pick to sort of put Quality Obsession on the ropes, just because here it looks like Dragonite is going to be in that mid lane, and really Super Happy Fun Team quite have an open choice here. They can pick up something like a Common Puck, which shouldn't really have too much trouble against a Dragonite, or they can go for something for another melee mid as their own. They really do have a lot of options there. Instead, they're going to pick up a Nyx Assassin, who you generally these days see more as a support in the support lane compared to when you saw him ages ago previously in the mid lane.
But Super Happy Fun Team, they like to run their unusual lanes. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see that Nyx go in mid if they do not pick up a dedicated mid hero, and then get an early level 6 on him and start roaming around the map to try and help out these other lanes. And we see a Sand King being picked up for Quality Obsession. He brings a lot to the team fight. He's got one of the best stuns in the game with that Burrow Strike. You get 2-3 people hit on one of them, and that usually means the fight for your side. And that epicenter, it's slow on top of those pulses, do a lot of damage and hold teams in place, but against the Tidehunter, if Tidehunter can get the perfect ravage off, it can completely ruin that Sand King.
Definitely, and I feel like this Nyx Assassin, particularly in those team fights, he'll be just invised up with that Vendetta, his ulti, roaming around, making sure that if Sand King is just hiding in the shadows, trying to set up that epicenter, you can just stun him up before he can blink in. Does seem like that Quality Obsession is going for more of the wombo combo style AoE teamfight lineup so far, where Super Happy Fun Team currently they're looking like they're going for a very aggressive tri-lane here.
And they've got a Tidehunter up on the field with these other two heroes. They could either run that Nyx in mid or run that Tidehunter in offlane. Tidehunter in offlane isn't that unusual. You get an early level 6 on him and he has his Ravage up very early, and then he can help out the other lanes. And he usually he's quite a tanky hero, so he can sit there, take a bit of harassment, but end up staying in that XP range. But it's going to be a little bit hard if they do decide to run him in there, because you're against a Gyrocopter, Sand King, and a Bane. They can hold you in place and pick you off quite easily.
10 seconds remaining.
Definitely that Bane is going to be quite powerful, particularly of course that his ultimate does go through that lifesteal rage, and you know that Enfeeble is also just amazing. It really stops a lot of the right click damage coming out from the carries. And Nightmare of course can lock down any other hero, so during team fights you can really cause a lot of issues with that and just turn the tide in your favor. However, with a lot of these AoEs, that Nightmare might not be as useful in those team fights depending on how well they do with their placement. Have to be really careful there.
That's for sure.
Radiant team
And we see that OD being picked up by Super Happy Fun Team, so they will be running that OD mid. Visage, Nyx, and Lifestealer should be a part of that tri lane, and Tidehunter will be probably in that offlane as well. OD is the single most strongest hero in this mid lane in this game at the moment. Him being able to put you into those astral imprisonments, grab all your damage and int, he can harass you and just keep you out of the lane. There's absolutely nothing he can do, and there's not really many picks you can go up and counter that hero. A few heroes we have seen a few these days are heroes that have creeps, such as your Lone Druid or your Nature's Prophet. Your creeps can get in there, get those last hits, even pull the waves back close to you so you can survive from that OD. But we'll see how Quality Obsession decide to go against this OD.
Yeah, definitely that OD is so powerful, and Dragonite is going to have a lot of trouble. He won't be able to cast his spells, and when he'll struggle with last hits. OD is just such a strong 1v1 hero. There's barely any heroes that can really counter him. Razor does okay just because you can use the static link, but even then it's not exactly the most perfect of counters. So this OD pick, in my opinion, is quite powerful.
And we might even see a rotation of that Dragonite, maybe take him out of that mid lane position. Because if you're up against an OD, you kind of want someone who can survive it. I mean, Dragonite, he is very tanky himself, but he's going to struggle against that OD. And we see a Slido pickup. This is interesting.
This is very, very interesting. I haven't seen a Slaughter picked up. I can't remember when was the last time. But yeah, I feel like it's more of a way to help counter that Nyx Assassin with that invis of his. We'll introduce our players and our teams here. On the side of the Super Happy Fun team, we do have their captain V3 playing on the Lifestealer. We have Jezebel playing on the Visage, Brahmi is on the Tidehunter, Whisk is on the Outworld Devourer, and last but not least, we've got Kanetoad wins our life on that Nyx Assassin.
And over on Quality Obsession, my apologies, we have Adras on that Sand King. He'll be rotating top part of the tri lane with Game of Throws on that Gyrocopter, followed by the final support of Queen of Blood on that Bane. In mid position, we have Aeon Creed playing on that Dragonite, and finally, in that off lane, will be a slider, Krenny Bomb. And what do you think about this, putting Krenny Bomb on the off lane?
30 seconds to battle.
This is very, very unusual. I mean, he sort of has an escape with sprint, but I mean, he takes... Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I feel like he's going to be quite fragile early on. He has to play a lot more passively. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. He won't be too bad in terms of once the team fast start happening. That stun of his, of course, I believe it does go through BKBs and whatnot, so I don't think it'll have too much of an issue in that regard. Which is nice, and of course that ulti, as well as amplifying damage, will help spot the Nyx Assassin, but I feel like he might be very, very fragile in the early stages of the game.
And it's nice that he is now being supported by the Bane. It's a little bit strange they're running the 2-on-2, but both sides, they both like their 2-on-2, so they feel safe running them against each other. So it'll come down to the personal plays, and we do have a Bane actually rotating up to top lane, so it will be a tri lane.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit surprising. I was expecting the tri lane, considering this pretty offensive lineup from a Super Happy Fun team. They do have that Visage, and in the tri lane it just does so much damage. I'm gonna see a nice ward just blocking that camp. Doesn't block the first spawn, but will block future spawns unless it gets dewarded.
And Gyrocopter, he shouldn't have too much of a hard time. I mean, they don't have a killing lane. They are going in with that Rocket Barrage, but not doing too much damage, just pushing that Tidehunter off that lane, so the Gyrocopter can have a little bit more easier of a time last hitting these creeps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this Gyrocopter should be feeling very, very, very safe. I mean, there's nothing that can really stop him here. I mean, Visage and Tidehunter by themselves, they can't really harass him, especially when you've got a Bane and the Sand King there. They're going to have to play more defensively here than anything else, I'd say.
And this Nyx Assassin's been very aggressive against Slaughter. He's thrown out a few stuns, forced him off the lane, and now Slaughter's going to have to pop his salve to try and get back up. And speaking of Nyx Assassin, he's got a very early bottle.
Yeah, I mean, OD, if he really wants to, he can always ensure that Dragonite doesn't get those runes while the next assassin picks him up. Yeah, of course, he won't be able to grab the top side river rune, and we don't actually see any river wards at the moment, so they don't even know when the runes are up. But I mean, early bottle on Nyx, it's not a bad idea. He does need that mana, especially if he's going to be this aggressive.
We had a little bit of damage going up on top. Gyrocopter almost falling. Visage's Solar Assumption come flying out, almost being able to find that kill on the Gyrocopter. So Gyrocopter's got to be a little bit defensive here. He's Bane TP down bottom to help out Granny Bomb. Try and keep this Nyx Assassin off him. Try and get your Slider a little bit of farm so he can help out a bit later in the game. Instead of being harassed a lot by this Nyx Assassin, who will, once he hits level 6, he will start finding those kills.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like so far that V3 has just been pretty much in the jungle so far. He's just been pulling these creeps and just getting his farm through that, which is unusual. You generally see a lifesteal just go into the lane. You usually get a lot more farm from it. Ooh, we see Sand just moving through here.
And they're trying to share the XP around the group, which is what I quite like. They're using this jungle to their advantage. They're trying to share this XP, get your lifesteal in the jungle, he gets creeps, you give your solar XP to that Nyx Assassin so he can get roaming earlier. And at top lane we have the Sand King. He wants to get in there, he wants to set something up for his team. But the Tidehunter and Visage, they know he's there. He's not going to be able to find anything, he's just going to scare him off the land.
Yeah, definitely. He actually just throws out a Sandstorm in there. A bit of a waste of mana, I feel. It would have been fine regardless. Maybe it was just a misclick. Nonetheless, we do see that the Bane did rotate out into bottom, which is probably a smart idea considering that I don't think Gyrocopter up in that top lane will have too much issues having that free farm, even if it's just the Sand King with him.
So we've gone into this little bit of a defensive game where both sides are trying to farm up, get their XP. Who do you think will get the first blood? Where do you think the first blood will come out? We have an Astral Imprisonment in mid lane, just doing a little bit more to Dragonite. I thought he may have went on him, but it's not going to happen. But where do you think this game will go into the next 5 to 10 minutes? Who do you think will start to take the advantage and pull ahead? Or do you think this will be kind of a stalemate for a while?
I suspect it'll be a stalemate for a little while. I mean, neither teams here are really playing aggressively, and unless one side just makes a complete blunder, then I feel like that's the only way we're gonna really see a first blood. We do see the Nyx Assassin just roll up that regen rune, and he's actually moving behind here. He has to be a little bit careful because Dragonite is just going to back off into mid lane. But yeah, he's a little bit by himself here, so any real follow up, Bane has no mana. But yeah, I mean, both these teams, I guess the Nyx Assassin's sort of being the most aggressive in play so far, as well as top lane with the Visage and whatnot. They've tried to harass as much as they can.
And we see the Gush go out. Sand King's not going to be taken on. They didn't have the damage. Soul Assumption was only up to 1 charge. And Nyx, he's now level 6. Look for him, maybe rotating mid to try and help out his OD to find and secure the kill on the Dragonite, or maybe all the aggression he's thrown out at bottom. He's Vendetted up, he's looking for the slider, he gets the Vendetta out, he turns around and impales the wrong way, stun comes out, and they're going to be on out of there. So it's a little bit unfortunate for that Nyx Assassin. Threw the stun the wrong way, he could have found himself the first blood.
A terrible misclick there, unfortunately for the Nyx Assassin. I was not able to capitalize on anything there. But yeah, this Nyx Assassin, as we've been saying so far, has been very aggressive. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to capitalize on that first blood, but I suspect, as you were saying, he will start to roam around the lanes now that he's level 6.
And Creddy Bomb, he is afraid. He doesn't want to get close. He knows what that Nyx Assassin can do. He should see him have a little bit of low health, but after that little aggression, I think Creddy Bomb's just going to be playing defensive for the next 10 minutes until he knows Nyx Assassin's in a completely different lane.
Yeah, definitely. If we just have a quick look at these last hits so far, we can see that the OD is, well, the Outworld Devourer is doing quite well at 23 last hits. The lifesteal, of course, is sitting at the highest, but I mean, a lot of that is from the jungle, so I wouldn't say it counts for as much as in lane creeps. Of course, pretty much the rest of Super Happy Fun Team, they were really up there in terms of the last hits.
And this lifesteal, he's almost on his way to that, we see an initiation actually on top, against Game of Thrones, he takes the Gush, he takes an Anchor Smash, the Soul Assumption comes flying through, and that's a Gyrocopter, he's gone and out of this game. Well, not out of this game, but out of this lane currently.
Tower is under attack.
Definitely, Sand King was not there to stun or help him out at all, and that was a very quick kill there from Super Happy Fun team. That Gush, you know, Tidehunter just throwing it out, doing enough damage for Jezza B to get those stacks of the Soul Assumption and just dealing a ton of that damage.
And down bottom lane we have an initiation. Great stun onto two heroes, keeping that last hero Nyx Assassin at bay. And Slaughter is going to get away with 25 HP and slowly regenerating up. And Bane's happy just to be there. But he will get out. He builds his Soul Ring and he'll have that very shortly and start throwing out the harassment against that Nyx Assassin. Try and dish out the damage back at him.
Nice to see a little bit of trash talk between these players.
Good old friendly trash talk.
Well, we have a pause, 2 DCs here from quite a few DCs actually, so it looks like we're going to see another pause, I believe, going out here.
This is interesting.
I can't actually pause it. It seems like they're having some issues at the venue itself, which has caused both teams to DC. We do have them rejoining back up. We should see a pause just until everyone is ready though. Oh, maybe not.
That was interesting. But luckily no harm done, no heroes died, so it's lucky. That's good.
Yeah, unfortunately both teams are falling to that there. So yeah, both teams suffering unfortunately, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. Quite unfortunate to have a team disconnect.
And we got a Nyx bomb walking through this lane down this jungle. He's invisible. He's still got his Vendetta, so he can throw out his Impale and go straight into that Vendetta if he wants to. And there's got to be hell to pay very shortly. They're going to have to be really careful. Can Slaughter throw out another life-saving crush? There goes the Impale. Infest comes flying out. They're doing a lot of damage to this Bane. He takes one... And there we go. His final auto attack finishes him off. And Slaughter, he's not being able to get that crush out in time. And he's going to be taken off. But nice kill there. Nice Nyx bomb. And Lifesteal, he'll pick up the kill. And he's just that much closer to picking up his Midas.
Yeah, and during that fight we had a little bit of fisticuffs here in the top lane, I guess. Jezebel actually felt quite low. Sacking chased there, trying to get that the stun and finishing off there for kill, but unfortunately I wasn't able to capitalize on it.
The Sand King, he's picking up a few of these levels while unfortunately his Gyrocopter's been out of the lane a bit. And Gyrocopter, he's had to spend quite a lot of gold on these TPs to get back in this lane. He is now level 6, so he's going to be quite happy with that. But he's spent quite a lot of gold to get back in this lane, and he's slowly falling down this net worth chart.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you do look at that net worth chart, you can see that it is currently...
We've got a Rock Rod coming flying out, but then he gets instantly picked off by Visage and Tidehunter. They got a lot of damage. Sand King comes flying out, throws out the Sentinel. Can he get one more tick? No, great Familiar Stun. One coming out. OD finding a kill in mid lane, but Tidehunter will fall shortly after the Sand King. Sand King will get a few more auto attacks and he'll fall shortly after.
Wow, some great aggression coming out here from... Super Happy Fun team here in the first 10 minutes of play. Ooh, Nyx Assassin goes on the Bane in the bottom lane.
And they pick off the kill.
Nice kill.
Good work there. So once again, that Infest bomb doing them wonders down in this bottom lane.
And they're just playing Nightmare Tennis at the moment. But yeah, if you have a quick look at that net worth graph, we can see that Quality Obsession are in a little bit of trouble here. They Gyrocopter anything at 1.3k, whereas pretty much, well, in fact, everyone on the opposite side, hold that thought, looks like Dragonite trying to get a kill there. Unfortunately, we'll back off since he's in tower range. But yeah, as I was saying, everyone on the side of Super Happy Fun team is above him in net worth, and that's very, very problematic.
And It was very nice up on top here. We have Super Happy Fun Team. They had a nice ward into this top lane jungle, and they saw the rotation of 2 heroes, so they got back to their tower. If it wasn't for that ward, they could have lost 2 heroes then, and then it would have given away quite an easy tower. Now they're going to be ready, they're going to be waiting, and now they're going to throw out the Gosh. Slider is in a lot of trouble. He gets his stun up. Cooldown's been popped. It's going to do a lot of damage to this Titan. Can they find a kill? Great familiar stuns, keeping him off and keeping him back. So Visage playing fantastic. Throws out the Soul Summoner. That's a lot of damage. Are they going to pop the Ravage? No, they're not. They're going to start chasing down. Nice crushing stun, but that's not enough to keep him alive. Gyrocopter's trying to find a kill. Then we see the Ravage being popped. Gyrocopter's in a lot of trouble. He's going to start running. He throws out that Rocket Barrage. Is he going to be able to get out of there? He's still on the run. We have Soul Assumption. He doesn't have enough mana. He doesn't have a wand, but we do have a Gush. And that's 2 kills gone the way of Super Happy Fun Team.
Yeah, some great play there. They're really taking control of this so far. We see that. Oh, it looks like we've got an initiation here in mid.
We do see that Infest into that open wounds, and they're going to find a few more auto attacks. Great stun coming out by Krenny Bomb. He's keeping off the line. He throws out that amplified damage. They find a kill. And now Dragonite, he stayed around for way too long. OD's going to make him pay. He's got Sanity Eclipse up in 2 seconds if he needs to use it. He's not going to be able to find another fantastic stun coming out by Krenny Bomb, keeping his team alive, keeping them in this game. Now he's turning around. He's going to throw out that amplified damage, and they might look to go on this OD. Sand King wants a piece of this action, but he's only got base boots. He's not going to be able to catch up.
Those clutch stuns from Slana, keeping his team alive there.
Very well played by him. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's have a quick look at his gold graphic. Do you see that, as expected, it is quite in favor of a Super Happy Fun Team. In terms of experience,
we've got a little bit of initiation in mid, so we have 1 familiar stun, a lot of damage. We have a Burrow Strike coming through. And that Soul Assumption could have picked off that Bane, but a nice stun keeping him back. And then we got another familiar coming in for a little bit of damage. We see the Sanity Eclipse come flying out onto with that Soul Assumption, and they will find a kill on the Bane. And then they should get a tier 1 mid tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, some great plays here. Bane just a little bit overextended there. And very well played there by the Visage, and of course that OD to pick up a kill.
So, sorry about interrupting you a little bit of a gold graph there, so if you want to continue on with that.
Yeah, I was just so good. I was just gonna say, yeah, it's quite heavily in favor of Super Happy Fun Team, and you know, Call Obsession. They need that Gyrocopter to really start getting his farm up. I mean, he's currently sitting only at 2k net worth, and for the first 15 minutes of the game, that is very low. He really needs to pick up a farm in some of these lanes, or hell, even just go to the jungle just so he gets something. We actually might see a bit of an initiation here in the bottom lane.
And Sada, he might be in a lot of trouble. He throws out the stun. He's got support of the Bane. Bane's got that Fiend's Grip. No, he doesn't. It's on cooldown. Open Wounds comes out. Few more auto attacks. Pop and burst goes that Sada. Now they're going to turn around. They're looking towards this Bane. Bane's going to take a few more auto attacks. Amplified damage. The Infest not going to be able to land. And Bane's still on the run, but he pops that Mana Burn to the face, and Nyx Assassin will pick up another kill.
Yeah, so Super Happy Fun Team, they're really rotating around, basically in every lane whenever they need to be. Like, their ganks have been really spot on so far this entire game. That Nyx Assassin and Nyx, or I should say the Lifesteal, they've been really just moving around, popping out, getting kills where they need to, and they're just playing fantastically. And it's put or I should say Lifesteal up into the top of the net worth, and they're going to be very happy with that.
And they're looking at maybe possibly going for a kill and set up a kill here. We got Slider, he's rotating in, but Tidehunter just saw him out. Daylight Vision, but OD might be caught out of position if they decide to rotate in. He sprints up, he's going to throw out that amplified damage. The Gush comes out, and that's just going to completely negate the attack. If Slider didn't have that slight hesitation, he could have got that stun and followed up by that Sand King and Gyrocopter. However, that little slight hesitation, and then they backed off.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that they should really start stacking some of these creep camps here for the Gyrocopter. Just stack some of those camps, and then just have Gyrocopter kill him off with the flat cannon. He really needs more farm. He's only sitting at 2.5k. He's got braces, boots, and Ring of Basilisk. It's really not enough for the first 16 minutes of the game.
We have a Vendetta Nyx here, he lands it, we have an Astral Imprisonment there coming out, they might find a kill, the Impale's going to completely whiff, and this should be the life of Bane, he should be able to get out of here now. No, the Sending Eclipse gets popped, can they find that auto attack? Nyx Assassin blocks that OD's movement speed, we see a Crush coming out into the epicenter, he's going to put himself into the Astral Imprisonment, the stun comes flying through, Soul Assumption comes flying through, killing out that Dragonite, and then the OD, he's trying to fight for his life, he doesn't find a kill, he will fall however, to the Dire, but the Soul Assumption comes flying out, kills off the Bane, and now Sand King, he's on a run, cooldown's being popped, can he find a kill here? One cooldown lands, Rocket Barrage pop it off, hitting the Familiars, and he will find a kill. Familiar stuns, one is going to land onto that Sand King, but he will fall to that Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin's trying to turn around and fight this Gyrocopter. Now a great Familiar stun, few more auto attacks by this Gyrocopter, but Tidehunter's here. Tidehunter's got a Ravage if he needs to use it, throws out the Gush, Anchor Smash, and then the Familiars pick off that kill.
Yeah, great play there from the Gyrocopter to come in there and set up, I believe it was 2 kills? Oh no, actually no, it was almost 2 kills there onto the Nyx Assassin, but well played there by Ty to manage to get in there and save him. Although that kill was pretty much what Gyrocopter really needed, he should have backed off right after that. If they had a bit more
And we see
vision,
Familiar Stone 1, sorry. And then we see Slark throwing out his second Familiar Stone. Fantastic play by this Visage, and now they're trying to find him. We see Sprock, he's sprinted up. I mean, Slaughter, he's sprinted up. He's running for his life. And Lifesteal, he's just going to have to give up. He won't be able to chase him any further. Sorry about that once again.
Actually, these Familiars, they might set off a stun. Oh no, they actually don't want to just right click. If they stun, they might maybe gotten the kill there, but nonetheless. Yeah, as I was saying, the Gyrocopter, you know, if they had a little bit more vision, you know, even just pop the ward up here, they would have noticed that the Tidehunter was moving up, he could have gotten out and survived, and you know, that would have been amazing for him. He got about 700 gold, I believe, there from the kill that he got, which is something that he really needs. He did manage to finish off that Ring of Aquila with that.
And I definitely agree with you, he's hurting badly, and they need some vision on the map. If they had some vision, as you said, they could have seen that Tidehunter rotate it, and Gyrocopter would have gone down for his life. And they can try and control these runes a little bit more efficiently, and they can see they can see the basic river rotation coming out from Super Happy Fun Team. We see a Nightmare being thrown out onto the Visage. They're not looking to fight this. Visage's Familiars scare them off, keep them back, and Jezza, he's been playing fantastic with these Familiars. In the jungle, we see an initiation. Nyx Assassin tried to find a Vendetta kill. Now he's got a Rocket chasing after him, and he's got rotation from the Tidehunter coming in from the top rune, but the Rocket will land, it will kill. It is level 3. We see a Gush come find out. We haven't seen a Ravage yet. He's got a Ravage up very shortly. We see an Astral Imprisonment. It's going to be very bad at keeping that Sand King alive. Gyrocopter, however, will fall shortly after. Sand King, he doesn't have enough mana to get on out of here, and he'll fall shortly after. Now Slaughter, he throws out that Crush, but now he's on the run himself. He doesn't want to take this fight any further. And I think they found a kill in mid lane at this meanwhile. And now they are going again, once again on the Bane. We see Slark, he's popping his Crush in the mid backlines. He's not going to be able to find a kill. Soul Assumption finding another kill on the Bane. Open Wounds comes out, and now Slaughter, he should fall shortly after. And that is a team wipe for Super Happy Fun Team.
Definitely amazing play there. They managed to pick up that Dragonite in that mid lane. Yeah, this is just insane. They're playing so well. They're everywhere on the map at the like. They're moving around correctly. They're ganking when they should be. You know, as you were saying before earlier on, with the lifestealer in the jungle and having the
Epicenter got channeled, Buddy gets put into the Astral Imprisonment. He didn't get to get his Burrow Strike off, and he could have found a kill on the Visage. Now he gets his Burrow Strike off, and Sand King, he's gonna go for the Tidehunter. He does find it, but he might trade for his life, and OD, no, the Lifesteal will pick up that kill. Now the turnaround, Lifesteal's in a lot of trouble. He's out of position, but he's gonna infest into that OD, and OD's just gonna run out of there. He's got a force off, he's got the maneuverability. He does Astral Imprisonment just before that Rocket hits, and Lifesteal pops out in the fest, gets crushed up, and then gets forced off. The Slaughter is gonna turn back around. He's looking for the Visage, but he's got one more auto attack. We have a Vendetta Nyx Assassin, and that will find the kill on the very overextended Slaughter.
Yeah, very greedy. They should have just backed off or ensure that at the very least his team was following him in there. But yeah, as I was just saying before that action happened, I feel like Super Happy Fun Team, by having that Nyx Assassin solo and that Lifestealer just in the jungle, he's still got some decent farm. You know, he wasn't getting through anything while I was in there. Wow.
That's a little bit of burst damage coming out the side of Super Happy Fun Team there. Just a little. Now the turnaround. Dragonite might get caught out. Gets an impale to the face. He's receiving a lot of arcane orbs. And then Gyrocopter, he throws down that corner. He might get one. He does get one. Visage, he doesn't want to chase down the Visage. With that Soul Assumption up, that is half of Gyrocopter's health right there.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, as I was saying, like, you know, getting that Nyx Assassin to level 6 as quickly as possible really allow them to get kills very early, move around the map, you know, pretty much control whichever lane needs to be controlled at the time. And it's just some fantastic play here from Super Happy Fun Team.
And it was a really nice decision, as you said, to have him in that jungle. Just get all that XP and then that Nyx Assassin roaming. And as it's shown, that Nyx Assassin's been very vital for this team. But then I'm coming down to the Visage. He's been landing such fantastic stuns this game with his familiars. And his familiars have been throwing out a lot of damage himself. And the Visage being able to rotate around, keeping his familiars in the right place at the right time. I don't even think he's lost a familiar and given away any gold to the opposition yet. So Jezza B, he's looking for more blood. He's picked up his Medallion of Courage and he's got a mech coming to him on the courier. And this is just going to reinforce more of their push.
Definitely see a lot of pings here coming out. It looks like we might see another engagement here in the bottom lane.
So we see a little TP coming in via Visage. We see an Impale coming out. It lands, Minor Strike, but he throws that Nyx Assassin into that Nightmare. And he's going to take one orb, gets exploded up. Sand King with the Burrow Strike and Epicenter. They will find the kill in the OD. Turn around into that cooldown. They might find the damage. No, the mech arrives in time. Then they mech back up. Impale comes flying through. They find a kill. They might find a second kill on this Burrow Strike. No, Burrow Strike comes flying through. And now he's into the Sandstorm. He might find that kill. Visage stun 1 is not going to land, so Sand King's going to be able to sit there a little bit longer. Slider, he's going to get hit by that stun. And now Nyx Assassin, he's on the run. But the amplified damage should be more than enough. Crush comes out onto that Carapace. 1 auto attack, 2 auto attacks, and they're going to at least find 2 kills in this trade. But Sand King, he's still in a lot of trouble. Visage doesn't have any stuns up on his familiars. And he needs 1 more auto attack. Can they find it? No, they are not going to. And he's going to scurry his way on out of there.
So well played there by Quality Obsession, managed to get a few kills there, and looks like they might even be able to get this tier 1 tower. Jezza B is still in here, he's only sitting on 200 health though, so he has to be careful. Can pop that mechanism though if he needs to. In the meantime though, we did see that Lifestealer and Tidehunter pushed up that top tier 2 tower, so they're still able to ensure that they get some gold despite not being in a battle in the bottom lane.
And now they're thinking about pushing this bottom lane. Then we might see an initiation. Visage is out of position. He's got caught out. He gets 1 stun to the face. Visage's familiars find some stuns. Will it be more than enough? He throws out the Grave Chill. We see the OD coming in, supporting his teammate. Throws out the Astral Imprisonment. Got to find another auto attack, pick off that Slider. And now they're turning towards this Dragonite, who's got nowhere to run.
Wow, it's good pickoffs there by Super Happy Fun Team. And you know, this is some great play from Jezza B, I gotta say. But you know, this is partly due to the lack of the vision. I mean, Core Obsession, they don't really know where the entire team of Super Happy Fun Team are at any given time. And they're still trying to play very, very aggressively, so they're going to be set very far behind, especially now that they have no tier 2 towers. They're going to have to play even more defensively as they are now. They can't really move outside of their base too much, and that's going to hurt the Gyrocopter first of all very much. We see that his farm is still very, very lacking. He's moving towards that BKB. He's picked up that Ogre Club, but it's still a while off. And you know, they're really going to have a hard time climbing back up here. Oh, kill there in mid lane.
Yeah, Visage once again landing those fantastic familiar stuns. Got 2 in a row, and then just Soul Assumption and picked off that Sand King.
Yeah, well played there by him. And just a quick overview of some of these items. We do see that Lifestealer has got that Maelstrom and Armlet. He did grab the Maelstrom.
We see a Fiend's Root coming down to the Tidehunter. Can they pick him off before he gets that Ravage off? And we see, and they do find that kill before he gets the Ravage off. But then Fence comes out. They pick off the Sand King as well. Now it's 2v4. They're going to turn around. Dragonite taking a lot of damage. Soul Assumption once again coming through, finding another kill for Carry Visage.
Yeah, that Visage playing very, very well. He's actually picked up a before hammer. I wonder if he's just going for a Desolator for the massive negative armor. He does have 4k sitting on his character at the moment. Hasn't bought anything with it. But as I was saying with those items, I mean, his Lifestealer, he's very, very farmed. He had that Hand of Midas early. Hold that forward. Got that engagement here.
And now Slido is on the run, not Slark. And then this Minor Burn comes out, misses the hero, but it's not too much. This Minor Burn wouldn't have killed. They pop the mech, and then they've picked off the racks. They should either back here, rotate middle, or they're going to go Rosh. However, it looks like they want to go to the next racks. They got to be careful.
They're going to...
Then we see Amplified Damage comes out. Great Impale, Insanity Eclipse, picking off the entire side of Cordy's session. And now they turn around. Soul Sucker comes flying out, and they're pushing them back. We got a nice cooldown being popped, trying to defensive cooldown, trying to push them away from their fountain. And now DK, he needs to get in there. He's not far enough in. We see OD take a lot of damage from the tower. He gets popped off by that gyrocopter. Now they're looking towards the lifesteal. Lifesteal may have gone too far. He arm with toggles. And he's out of there. Nice arm with toggling coming out by V3.
Wow, some insane plays there from Super Happy Fun team. It looks like they're just going to back off and go to Rush. It looks like they're going to go for that second racks, and there's nothing too surprising there considering they just lost that OD, and that OD was dealing so much damage. That Standing Eclipse, I believe it killed one of the heroes outright, I'm not sure who it was, and pretty much lowered the health of another one to, you know, what was it, a third, a quarter, something like that. It just deals so much damage. He is so farmed at the moment. He does have that 4 stuff, of course, and his Aghanim Scepter, so yeah, I mean, Super Happy Fun team just playing so well this game.
And we have a group up from Quality Obsession. They are thinking Rosh is gone, and they might even find a solo Tidehunter here, but they're going down bottom. They might find a Visage, but Visage, one Familiar Stone, once again, bringing out the players. But this courier could be in a lot of trouble if this Game of Thrones finds it. No, we have a second Familiar Stone, keeping that courier alive. Cooldown's going to miss. Rocket lands, though, and we should have a dead Visage. Fiend's Crypt even being used to make sure that Visage goes down. And Bane, he'll pick up 737 bonus gold for his effort.
Yeah, they really have a lot of hate for this Visage. They've been trying to get killing him for 8.
I think Quality Obsession may be overextended here. There we go. We have 2 kills taking down that Sand King. Now we have nice Ravage popping onto the final 2 heroes of Quality Obsession, and that will be picked off. And now they're going to go for Roshan, pick off Roshan, and we should see him barrel down the middle in the next 10 minutes.
Definitely. The moment they pick up this rush on, I feel like they should just go straight for the push. I mean, their Visage is down, and by the time they pick off this rush on, I'm pretty sure Visage will just grab a TP and teleport into mid, and they'll just go for that push. I feel like they should be feeling very confident here. They shouldn't be feeling like they can really be opposed here by Quality Obsession. And that's nothing too surprising. I mean, Tidehunter, he has his Blink, he just uses Ravage, so he doesn't have that, but nonetheless, I mean, our World Devour now has that Sanity Eclipse, so up again, so you know, it's a lot of damage once again.
And as we saw in that last fight, that Sanity Eclipse is pretty much more than enough to take out Quality Obsession almost alone. He's got that much of an int advantage, as well as with that Aghanim Scepter, just boosting it up even further. And now they're looking to barrel him down through bottom lane. We have Vendetta up, he's looking for a kill, he's going towards Queen of Blood. Queen of Blood takes a Dagon, Gosh, and an Impale, and he will fall shortly after. And Aeon Creed's running for his life. Game of Throws, he throws out a rocket, but Tidehunter will be able to walk on out of there without too much hassle. They may even find a little bit of gold getting this rocket. No, he's just going to take the rocket hit to the face.
Yeah, I really feel like Quality Obsession should put up a sentry ward in their base since they did lose that tower.
And we see an Epicenter, it's just completely whiffed. And he will be picked off very shortly after. Dragonite, he's now in the middle of nowhere with no support and will fall shortly after to V3. And now they'll just walk in here with 3 heroes down, no buybacks up, only on the Bane, but Bane's about to respawn. And we have a Vendetta once again, he's trying to find a kill. He walks into the fountain, but apparently I thought Fountain had true vision, but I guess not. And we see a Vendetta landing. Impale coming through, Mana Burn, and the Bane will fall shortly after. Familiar Stun 1, Familiar Stun 2, just gonna miss.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
There is actually, I guess, a sort of sweet spot there near that fountain where you can actually avoid being seen if you're invis or if you place a ward down. And there is that GG call by the captain of Quality Obsession.
Radiant victory.
So congratulations there to Super Happy Fun team. I'm gonna hit that GG button. Super Happy Fun team will be moving on to the grand finals. Yet to be decided who they'll be playing up against, of course. We do have our second semi-final game coming up very shortly. We'll keep you guys updated in the stream chat, of course, when that will happen. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, I've been Xalorith and I've been joined by Dota Yoshi. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Xalorith, and you can follow Dota Yoshi at youtube.com/Dota Yoshi. This has been a Defense of the Australians presentation. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you guys very much for watching.